Hello there, welcome to Hoojies Garage. I saw a little weird puddle under the what is it? Right rear shock absorber. So that was a bit of oil, of course, and the shock absorber looked something like this, or looks something like this. No force at all, really, but it's done some 300,000 kilometers, so well, it's kind of weird that the front struts never have been replaced on this car, but I had to change that thing quite quickly because the car was kind of bouncing a bit like that. Now the left one hasn't given up yet, but I bought two as I was at it. So this is what a new shock absorber looks like. So time to get to work. Well, where's the hubcap cover tool? Here. Little interesting detail. I have repaired it. It just broke. I think something hit it. I think we were doing something in the garage with some wood, and then something kind of pushed it off and everything just broke. But I happen to have some really ugly hubcaps laying around, and I have tried to get in better appearance. So this one has been restored by me, and then I glued everything back with epoxy. So I took the good clips from an ugly hubcap and I saved the reasonably well looking thing from the broken one and put them together. Oh well, little detail. Unscrew the wheel, or loosen the wheel. And the adapter is here. Well, getting a bit warm, but it will make another summer. This and the lower part of this just falls down and lays over the shock absorber, and then the rod or the piston is exposed to dust and things. So that was what killed the first set of rear shock absorbers on this car. So for some reason, I don't know why, I did not buy new dust covers and what do you call this thing? The support if you bottoms through, so to speak. For some reason I just made it a quick or cheap way, or maybe I didn't understand that these were not included in the shock absorber box. So I just taped everything back again with cable ties, and it has worked for another 300,000 kilometers. So alright, not too bad. So there's no need to loosen up things on the interior side of this car. But to get access to that, one has to unscrew the wheel arch liner, or whatever you could call that. So it sits with a few screws. They look stainless, so well done. Maybe that's why you should buy an Audi instead of something cheaper. They choose a bit more premium materials here and there. Ah, there's some sand in that one. I have to poke that out. Right, so the screw heads are clean. Torx 25, I think it is. Screws may look stainless, but something else for sure is not. Let's see what that is. Yeah, very nice, very clean. well, maybe clean isn't the word, but they're not rusty. They sit with small, yeah, now I remember, yeah, they sit with these small kind of screw clips or whatever, and they don't seem to be on that well. They have corroded away, let me think now. And then there are more things to it. There are 3 small plastic clips in here. So one has to poke with a little pin in the center. Not too much though, just a little bit, just kind of 5 millimeters or something. If you poke too much, then the pin will disappear. Or maybe fall down on the ground if I'm lucky. You see? So one puts it back in the other end when one should insert the clip. Good, nothing broke. Decent design then. The third one. Then this liner might be loose, or should be loose. Feels a bit weird here. Ah yeah, it's standing on top of the spring attachment. Now things got easier. Here we go. Wheel arch liner or whatever it's called. Then, yes, there are 2 screws in there. Then I will move the camera for you so you can see better. Was that a 16 or 17? I don't remember. 16. Good. Will I need a lot of power or a lot of torque? Let's see here. Yes, I will need a lot of torque. Yes, it's better. Don't want to put my head in there. Yes. There we go. Yeah. Not that ugly, right? It's the second one. Then the upper end should be loose. Yeah. This one still has a little bit of, well, this one still works, but I will remove it, and then I will have to get below the car, so I will put the protection or safety stand under it. Just a second. Okay, so I put this thing under the rear axle. Minimizes the risk of the car falling down on me. Mr. Jack would say something that it shouldn't. Okay. Then that should also be 16, I think. But let's do like this. This is my this is a weird tool. It's made for working on an old is it called bevel shaft Ducati engine, but it should work for this also. I just hope that it will stop somewhere, and then No. Ah, too big also. Let's see if this one is long enough. Rusty. Ah. Should not damage the spring. It's almost like if I would. I think I need to lubricate this thing a bit more. It feels like if I always. It feels like I almost would snap it. I don't want to snap it. I don't have an extra one, I think. So, more oil. Yeah, this feels much better. There we go. Yeah, look at this bump stop. Maybe it's the right word for it. It's still being, the dust cover is still being held by 2 layers of tape and 2 cable ties, but well, crap. Now, I fear that there's a little problem under this cover, because I did replace this shock absorber some 9 years ago, and the last thing that happened as I tightened the rod to this console or housing, or bushing way one should call it, was that the top part where you should grip, it snapped. So now I have to invent some method for holding this thing and taking away the nut. I'll be back when I've found a way to do it. That's life. So I'll have to take the bump stop out of the housing. There we go. Maybe I can grip around there. Let's see if this is a better way to loosen this thing. Of course, I will not have to be very gentle to the shock absorber as such. No, it still spins. Well, I could try to drill away the nut. There's a new nut with the new shock absorber. I could also try the air wrench. Let's see if that could work. Oh, hooray! That was the nut. There we go. Now it's loose. So the new shock absorber comes with a little steel wire and a funny washer to keep it at the, I don't know, a volume efficient length, or I don't know if the piston should be in a certain position during transport or something. But now I need to get things in order. Yeah, I need to clean this one a bit, and I have to get the bump stop and the dust cover in position before I put this thing on. So let's take a look at that. So, see, this thing should be pressed in here. Let's see. Yeah, it's not that difficult. A good press fit. Like this, right? Then the dust cover should be kind of, it has a little slot there, so it looks like it should be screwed in position somehow. Yep. Easy thing. Then it can't sit anything other than that. It can't sit like that, of course. So, okay. There we go. There's a little bit of gas pressure in it, as you can see. It moves up on its own. And yeah, here's this thing that was broken on the other. There are special tools for holding that. This one. And the fit isn't super tight. Do I have a better one? Not much, but the other end is much bigger. Oh, that's the best I have. Okay. Now the nut. And it's slightly spherical on top and flat underneath. So maybe I should try to avoid snapping it this time. Yeah, good. Come on. Yep, there it is. Perfect. So, looking good. Looks like it's some kind of a lock nut, so I hope it stays. Then this thing snap over, and then yeah, it will tend to, not really tend, it will push itself up, but you're right, it's not too hard really. But as you can see, it rises with the gas pressure. Now I want to use these screws. I must say I'm not sure if these should be renewed or not, but I did not change them or replace them the last time. So I think that just a bit of oil should be fine. What kind of oil is this then? This is not normal oil, it's linseed corrosion protection oil. So the linseed is a bit weird. It becomes hard. It makes an oxidation. So one should, for instance, not use paper on this together with this oil, because then the paper can catch fire as the oil starts to oxidize. And if you spill something on the paint, you will get a hard surface that you can't polish away. So it's an interesting oil, but it's good rust protection, and I think it will even help the screws stay in place. Now, let me see now. Did I forget this 16mm socket in the garage? I think I did. So let's see if I can get this in position again. Oh, like that, of course. I think I need to get it in position here first. At the lower end. Non-original spare part tolerances playing game with me. Maybe a little oil will help. I will get a little wooden block to I think we have it there now. No? Yeah. Should be there. Okay. Then, time for the upper attachment again. To push it down a bit, but force isn't that big, so it's okay. And the other one. There is it. Perfect. I don't know the torque and so on, but if one or maybe even two would come loose, one would for sure hear it, and then yeah, you could suspect that these are loose, but I really doubt that. So nothing forgotten except the lower nut. Let's take a look at that. So I think it's easier to let the screw rotate. I know that nuts should always be rotated and not the screws, but this is not the race car, so I need to do it like this. Oh, and it doesn't even fit. Oh well, it gives me no option. It's too shallow. There we go. Good. That will not come loose. So, bit of rust protection, fine. Then, is there something else to it? Let's take a look here. Well, it only sits down there, and it sits up there. Those are tightened, nothing on the ground, and that should be it. Fortunately, I had a new one instead of this one that's just corroded away. So I'm putting this one over the flange here. It's kind of basic, already done it. And then it's time for the wheel arch lining. It's a little pocket for it here above the spring. And all these metal clips I've sprayed with the anti-corrosion oil. There's another one that's too corroded. Ah, it's just gone. Okay, I have one more. Let me see, what's the size? There we go, at last. We have those three positions. Then those two. What's the purpose of the last screw? Doesn't line up at all. Let's take the clips first. Oh, it was yet another one of those that was gone, and I didn't really have to remove this one, but it doesn't really hold the wheelhouse liner. But now, so screw is back. Now. No parts left, just the wheel screws. Then time for the wheel. Restored hubcap. Right, new shock absorber, perfect. That's all from Hoojies Garage today. Take care.